Though 2020 has been an extremely scary year for everyone in the world, if you were born a million years ago, scary would contain a completely different meaning for you. Deadly snakes, terrifying mammals, and 7-foot-sized lobster-like creatures would have sent you running. Let's take a look at the top 10 scariest extinct creatures that you wouldn't believe existed. Make sure to subscribe to Ultra Weird for more ultra weird stuff from around the world, and stick around for number 1 because you will not believe it. Number 10, the Platybelodon. Platybelodon was discovered in the 1920s. The scary-faced herbivore mammal looked like an elephant. They lived in the middle of ancient Africa, Asia, and the Caucasus. Platybelodon had a unique extending jaw, which consisted of a pair of flattened wide tusks. Its lower incisors were supposed to function as spades, scooping and excavating vegetation in the aquatic environment. Their teeth were specialized for feeding on a certain range of plants. Those incisors were sharp enough to cut through vegetation. The Platybelodon had more than 15 species, which reached the peak of expansion of those lower tusks. There were 4 to 5 more types of animals present at the time, and it was hard to search for food with so many rivals. Scientists believe this creepy-faced mammal were extinct due to weather conditions. Maybe it was due to severe rains or drought that they lost their food, and they were vanished from the face of the earth. Number 9, the Pseudopolyx fleas. Pseudopolyx is a genus of flea-like parasitic insects that once fed on dinosaurs 165 million years ago. It was 10 times bigger than today's fleas. The bite of this oversized parasite was likely to be throbbing and would have felt like a thin needle going through your body. These scary ancient fleas were hideous and possibly the first bloodsucker in their family. They had a large beak that looked like a needle or a syringe, springy legs, and a thick, elongated mouth. They likely feasted on huge, thick-skinned animals rather than small animals. These fleas could not jump like today's fleas, but they did run to catch their prey. Number 8. Arendapis, Atercopus. This is an extinct species that lived around 470 to 480 million years ago, one of the oldest vertebrates. Arendapis was a jawless fish. The fossils of the Arendapis were found in Alice Springs, Australia in 1959 and named after a local Aboriginal tribe called Aranda. This creature was about 15 centimeters long, and it had a rationalized shaped body covered by drop-shaped scales and had a diffy-circled tail. The head and the frontal body were covered by a flat dorsal shield and a swollen ventral shield with the eyes and the nostrils. There were 2 small openings at the top of the dorsal shield, which were possibly sensory organs. It's also speculated that the Arendapis had up to 15 gill openings that were between the dorsal and the ventral shield. This fish did not have jaws, but it did have a ventral lip. Number 7. The Anomalocaris. The world's top predator was the scary-looking Anomalocaris. It lived in the Cambrian period, over 1 billion years ago. Life was confined to the seas, and the animals took on inexplicable shapes that were never seen again. Anomalocaris fossils were first collected in 1886 or 1888. It was the largest hunter of its time. It was up to 1 meter in length. It had mineralized body parts. The mouth and the frontal adjuncts were solid and easily petrified than the smooth body. It had rolling flaps on the sides with large thorns and a fan-shaped tail. This cruel predator easily grabbed the prey with the thorns and bite it with its square, claw-shaped teeth and tear it to pieces. Even the sharks, whales, and tyrannosaurs couldn't match the strength of this creature. Are you feeling lucky that you were not born in this era? Number 6. Atercopus fimbriangus. Believed to be the oldest spider. The Atercopus fimbriangus lived around 386 million years ago. The scientists believe that these spiders were not like the spiders today. The proto-spider could weave sheets of silk from altered hair called spigots that sat on plates attached to its base, but they were unable to spin a web. Atercopus shows an original state before the reappearance of a latent genetic system that gave rise to the spinnerets and the later spiders. Atercopus was not a dangerous creature, but it looked pretty scary. Number 5. the Helicoprion. In 2011, a tooth whorl from a Helicoprion was discovered in the Phosphoria site in Idaho. The tooth whorl measured 45 centimeters in length. The animal that sported this whorl may have been 10 meters in length. Another, even bigger tooth whorl was discovered in the 1980s. The whorl was incomplete, but in its life it would have been 60 centimeters and would have belonged to an animal that possibly exceeded 12 meters in length, making the Helicoprion the largest known eugenodon. The spiral of uneven teeth was used to help defend the Helicoprion from other predators. In a deadly fight between the Megalodon and the Helicoprion, would have taken a massive chomp out of the Helicoprion and killed it, but remember, bigger is not better. The Megalodon has a top speed of 25 miles per hour, but the Helicoprion goes around 35 miles per hour, much faster than the enormous Megalodon. The Megalodon would have charged at the Helicoprion's full speed and missed it because the Helicoprion would have been long gone. Number 4. The Neuropathus permiana. The Neuropathus permiana was a largely known insect that resembled a dragonfly. It enjoyed the freedom of the skies because in those times, birds, bats, and other flying species were not around. An incomplete fossil of the Neuropathus was found in 1939. The wing fossil is still exhibited in the Museum of Comparative Zoology at Harvard University as part of the permanent display. This extinct insect was a large predator with a 47 centimeter long body. Scientists believe that during the Carboniferous, the immense invasion in global oxygen levels allowed many invertebrates to get a huge size. The insect grew large due to the higher content of oxygen in the atmosphere, but eventually died out at the end and became a victim of mass extinction, like the other 90% species once living on Earth. Number 3. The Opapenia regalis. Opapenia was an early form of the arthropod. It flourished from 505 million years ago to 487 million years ago during the Cambrian period. Its fossils were found in Burgess Shale in the Canadian Rockies in British Columbia. Its appearance resembled crustaceans, but differed in many ways in the most significant features. Opapenia was a smaller animal of 1.5 to 2 3/4 inches in length. It had 5 eyes and a long proboscis to sort through the seabed for food. It had segmented lobes on the side of the body and a tail fan. Opapenia's main food was worms that were pulled out of their dens and then tore up and eaten by a fan-shaped mouth. Number 2. The Hallucigenia. The fossil of the Hallucigenia was found in the Burgess Shale in 1911 by Charles Doolittle Walcott. Hallucigenia, the Cambrian lopopodian worm, is believed to be the ancestor of the velvet worm, or an arthropod. Hallucigenia was 1/2 inch in size, but could grow up to about 1.5 inches. These animals sported plates and spines on their back. It had 8 pairs of thin legs and claws and an elongated head and tentacles used for feeding. This animal was way scarier than we thought. The latest model for the creatures included a ring of teeth around its mouth, pair of eyes, and a foregut lined with teeth. Number 1. The Titanoboa. The Titanoboa was a snake that has since become extinct. It was almost 4 times heavier than the giant anaconda. The Titanoboa, whose fossils date back around 58 to 61 million years ago, was measured around 50 feet long. Its weight was between 2,300 and 2,500 pounds. It had a diameter of about 3 feet at its thickest, and they had rows of teeth growing in its upper and lower jaws. The teeth were very small in size and very sharp, an adaptation for its hunting. The snake was dull in color. With the disappearance of the dinosaurs, the Titanoboa was among the pioneer plus-size reptiles to take over the ecological niche. This has been the top 10 scariest extinct creatures you would not have believed existed. Which one of these sent you running? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, make sure to give us a like and subscribe to Ultra Weird for more ultra weird stuff from around the world and beyond. See you on the next one.